Chapter 1, Call Me Alex. 5 circles as large as your hand spread wide, drawn in crayon, red, blue, green, yellow and purple. The circles do not need to be perfect, just do your best, the book read. It is best to use pieces of paper to help draw. Be sure that lines, which connect to one another, are touching and have not broken from each other. Use tape to keep the papers and lines together if it helps. In red, non-lead based paint, use your finger or hand to draw a circle connecting each point. Start from the outside of one of the circles and connect to the other. This does not need to be perfect and you may end up with a pentagon more than a circle. That is all right. In red marker, draw lines connecting each other circle same as before. You should wind up with a star in your circle. Please note that if you cross over the lines of 5 colored circles, this will not ruin your chances of summoning the demon. Such things may even help in summoning it, just do your best. Now prepare the following: a sharp knife, a container of milk, a plastic bottle with no label, a small plush toy with a broken seam and its stuffing hanging loose, a white terry cloth towel, a handkerchief of any make and a tube of red lipstick, the brighter red the better. Lastly, draw a picture of a woman with a house in the background and a yellow sun. Any additional things such as a blue sky, green grass, trees, flowers, and a car as well as other additional items may help in summoning the demon. The picture does not need to perfect, you merely need to put love in the picture. Lastly, the demon you will be summoning is a descendant of Lilith and gains power from the strong warm emotion of love. For one night, lie with each of the objects in your bed. You need not hold on to anything but the plush toy and bottle. Have the terry cloth near or on your waist. The picture, handkerchief and lipstick on a nightstand close to the bed. It is important to keep the knife as far from your place of rest as possible and place the knife in the ritual circle. As you sleep, be sure to think of the things that make you happy. These can be happy memories of hobbies you enjoy. While you think of these things, think of what would be your most desired mother. If you have had a bad relationship with your mother or no mother at all, then your chances have greatly improved. The demon has a powerful maternal instinct and will wish to fill this void in your life. If you have had a good relationship with your mother, your chances are still good but dangerous. The demon is jealous of other maternal figures that could be in your life and will seek to replace them. If you cherish these people, it is best to quit now. After you have slept with the objects close at any time of the next day, perform the ritual. You may place each object in any order into any of the 5 colored circles, however your picture must be last. Recite the following and perform the actions as follows. Pour milk into the plastic bottle and recite, nourishment for myself that she shall feed me. Give a kiss to the stuffed toy and recite, a favored toy, broken, that she shall mend for me. Fold the terry cloth 3 times into a square and recite, warmth and protection that she shall swaddle me. Uncap and place the lipstick in the circle. If it requires twisting to extend the lipstick, do so while reciting, her mark to brand my skin aplenty. Take the knife and make a cut on yourself and discard the knife, the further the better. Place your blood on the handkerchief and recite, my flesh undone, her love shall mend. Lastly, place the picture in the center of the star. With your blood make a heart around the picture and recite, an image of her drawn my best. The following chant may be pronounced however you wish, be consistent. Start by stamping one foot and shaking your fists in unison. Begin the chant. YMMOMYMT nor I. John did his best to use a Tuvan throat singing technique. This ritual was the most ridiculous the book offered, but it was the easiest to obtain all the ingredients. YMMOMYMT nor I. The other rituals in the book required specific daggers, chalices, expensive jewels, human bones, especially skulls. Ritual sites that were half across the world, and some even required human sacrifice. YMMOMYMT nor I. Yes, this was the simplest, and compared to one ritual that required masturbating for 6 months and climaxing at a very specific time, this ritual was better. YMMOMYMT nor I. He hoped this would work. John was a scrawny man with brown hair that covered his ears, peach fuzz for a beard and a rather androgynous figure. He had been picked on it for many years for how he looked. It got under his skin when people made note of it, but he was able to shrug it off for the most part. It was last month, however, that broke the camel's back. John worked for a company in oil and gas leases. He worked long and hard hours to get a comfortable life. While even starting out, the pay and benefits were good, he wanted to climb higher. There was a position open for such a spot. He would get to be one of the people you would see when you searched the company name. He had earned that spot with his dedication and hard work. As his boss announced to everyone in the meeting who would receive the position, it was not John but the office layabout Jerry. John stayed after the meeting to demand why Jerry was picked over him. The reason? Jerry was better looking than John, and John was too feminine for a man. He looked like a bearded woman. Jerry had a strong chin, toned muscles, a thick, short and good-looking beard. The man was like an Adonis next to John, but that was all Jerry had going for him. The man was lazy, sleazy and performed the bare minimum. John, of course, was pissed over such a stupid reason, and so this ritual had to work: revenge against the whole office, hell against everyone who ever made fun of him while he was at it. YMMOMYMT nor I. He shouted and stamped harder. Come on. YMMOMYMT nor I. He said it had been 15 minutes now and John was losing his patience. Stupid piece of shit, fucking come on already. YMMOMYMT nor I. Come on. He roared and stomped. Sure, I hear you, sweetie, I am just getting ready. I will be there in a minute, a voice sang out, mature, warm and motherly. The room grew warm, very warm, but John felt cold, very cold. The voice came from the darkness of the basement. A pair of different colored eyes, one pink, one blue, both with a deep black slit for a pupil, lit up in the corner of the room gazing at John. The soft clack of hooves against stone boomed around the room as the demon began to appear. Her figure was obscured in shadow and John could only make out that something large was hidden in there. The ice suddenly fell as the creature shrank, the boom hooves became a soft click of heels on the floor. A woman stepped out from the darkness. The woman had crimson skin. Even in the poorly lit basement he could see how red she was. Curly chestnut brown hair she had tied in a bun. Large breasts that poked out from beneath a pale blue blouse and were restrained from a lacy black bra. Wide childbearing hips that helped create an hourglass figure. Plump thighs constrained beneath a pair of jeans. Her feet were a pair of cloven hooves that gave a firm clack on the cement floor. Each step she took ignited with a cotton candy flame that quickly died out. She noticed John staring at her feet for a moment. The pink and blue flames engulfed them like gas on a pyre, revealing a pair of slip-on sneakers. The demon looked down at the floor and smiled warmly. She picked up the bottle of milk and sipped at it. In the blink of an eye the milk was gone. She then plucked up the lipstick and applied it to her lips. She gave a small smack of her lips, then turned her focus to the stunned man. There. Now I am all set, she chirped, and then noticed the picture on the ground. She picked the picture up, an endearing smile on her face. She then turned the picture to John with a warm smile on her face. This is going up on the fridge, you are so talented, she chimed, and the picture was swallowed up by her flames. She cleared her throat and bowed to John. Hello, sweetie, for what reason have you summoned me? She asked. John stood there agape. The ritual worked, he could get his revenge. John smiled and did his best to stand firm. I want fucking revenge against my shithead boss and that fucker Jerry, he said. As he spoke he did notice the demon's eye twitch, but he pressed on. They fucking put that lazy no good son of a bitch in dash. John stopped as the demon gave a firm stamp of her foot and was before him, a finger extended at his lips but not touching. It seemed to strain against an invisible wall. A fury was in her eyes while she gave him a small smile. My oh my, what a potty mouth you have, didn't your mother teach you not to swear in front of a lady? She said sweetly, her eyes seemed to flash like fire to newfound oxygen, but then she lit up with excitement. Maybe you don't have one, she said giddily. I can't do anything about that right now, so I do ask you to try and keep the dirty words to a minimum, baby, she said and stepped back. Now how about we try again and this time speak like a big boy? John began to breathe again after she stepped away. He hadn't realized he was holding his breath as fear ran through him. He even thought he peed a little. WWL, you see, I have this job and I work really hard there. They had a higher position open and well, they gave it to this lazy Asho dash. John stopped as he heard the demon's foot tapping and a very stern look on her face, arms crossed. Lazy person, he corrected himself, and her tapping settled down. Was given the position because he was better looking, and I look like a bearded woman, John explained. Oh sweetie, that is unfair. You are such a handsome little man and you say you are a good helper? How dare they not see such quality? You want me to make it all better? She asked with a tone of worry. John nodded, looking at her as she looked at him with a small pout. Okay sweetie, but first some nasty old paperwork, she said, speaking to him like he was a child. She produced a piece of parchment and a crayon. This contract states that I will deliver upon you, your request with extra flair. In short, I will not only get you the cushy little job, I will make it where you will be waited on for your every need. You will be the face of the company. Just sign and state your name, she said. John liked that idea. He felt he deserved that for how hard he worked and the injustice they set upon him. He reached for the crayon but stopped. What is the catch? He asked. The demon grinned at him, gave a playful laugh and sighed, looking as if she had been caught in a prank. In exchange, we will be playing a little game. You must follow a set of rules I will lay out and adhere to certain principles. Failure to follow them earns you punishments and disciplines that I will carry out at my discretion. If at any point you decide to quit your job, are fired, or decide you don't want to get that cushy job, I win. To which I will take you back to my little home and do whatever I wish, with you, to you. She explained. John thought about it for a minute, either the life of relaxation that he has always wanted or whatever hell this demon would make him do. John took the crayon from her and began to write down his name. Either refuse the offer and return to a hellhole, or accept and have a chance with the promise of an actual hellhole if he failed. He figured it couldn't be worse than his job. My name is John Cromwell, he said firmly. The demon's eyes lit up with an excitable fire and she grinned. With a snap of her finger, the contract burned away in a cotton candy-colored flame. In her glee, she clapped her hands and began to sing. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, his name is my name too, she giggled, and then noticed John with a confused and bewildered look on his face. The demon reached out quickly, ignoring that she startled John, and patted his head, her fingers running through his hair and gently caressing his cheek. She smiled and cooed as she felt him, ever joyful to be able to touch him. Had it been 100? 200, maybe a millennium or more since she last interacted with a human. She grinned and giggled with a mixture of mischievous and malicious, longing and love. Finally she calmed down and controlled herself. You may call me Alex.